Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Kathy. We are on part 20 of going through the book Scientific Facts in the Bible, and we're on the chapter Evolution in the Bible. Just started it in the last video. Okay, so this chapter's a little long. We'll just keep going. Okay, this paragraph, this is pretty interesting. This got my attention when I was in college. For, like undergraduate, you have to take all the, one of this, one of that, all your general education. And I took an anthropology class, like intro to anthro. And yeah, they would talk about all these different, like Heidelberg man and let's see, Java man, Piltdown man. And I don't remember them ever talking about how they were disproven. And so this talks about it, and it's known. But okay, well, let's dive in. The evolution of the theory. All right, let's look at how the theory of evolution has evolved through the years. Okay, and this is a quote from, okay, this is an article called Our Times, The Illustrated History of the 20th Century. So, quote, Charles Dawson, a British lawyer and amateur geologist, announced in 1912 his discovery of pieces of a human skull and an ape-like jaw in a gravel pit near the town of Piltdown, England. Dawson's announcement stopped the scorn cold. Experts instantly declared Piltdown Man, estimated to be 300,000 to 1 million years old, the evolutionary find of the century. Darwin's missing link had been identified. Okay. And it keeps going. Or so it seemed for the next 40 or so years. Then in the early 50s, scientists began to suspect misattribution. In 1953, that suspicion gave way to a full-blown scandal. Piltdown Man was a hoax. Radiocarbon tests proved that its skull belonged to a 600-year-old woman and its jaw to a 500-year-old orangutan from the East Indies. End quote. The Piltdown Man fraud wasn't an isolated incident. The famed Nebraska Man was derived from a single tooth, which was later found to be from an extinct pig. Java Man, found in the early 20th century, was nothing more than a piece of skull, a fragment of a thigh bone, and 3 molar teeth. The rest came from the deeply fertile imaginations of plaster of Paris workers. Java Man is now regarded as fully human. Heidelberg Man came from a jawbone, a large chin section, and a few teeth. Most scientists reject the jawbone because it's similar to that of modern man. Still, many evolutionists believe that he's 250,000 years old. No doubt they pinpointed his birthday with carbon dating. However, Time magazine, June 11th, 1990, published a science article subtitled, Geologists Show That Carbon Dating Can Be Way Off, end quote. And don't look at Neanderthal Man for any evidence of evolution. He died of exposure. His skull was exposed as being fully human, not ape. Not only was his stooped posture found to be caused by disease, but he spoke and was artistic and religious. Okay, so Okay, that makes sense. All right. Dr. Colin Patterson, senior paleontologist at the British Museum of Natural History, gave a keynote address at the American Museum of Natural History, New York City, in 1981. In it, he explained his sudden anti-evolutionary view. All right. He says, one morning I woke up and it struck me that I had been working on this stuff for 20 years and there was not one thing I knew about it. That's quite a shock to learn that one can be misled so long. I've tried putting a simple question to various people. Can you tell me anything you know about evolution? Any one thing that is true? I tried that question on the geology staff at the Field Museum of Natural History, and the only answer I got was silence. I tried it on the members of the evolutionary morphology seminar at the University of Chicago, a very prestigious body of evolutionists. And all I got there was silence for a long time, and eventually one person said, I do know one thing. It ought not to be taught in high school. Okay. So the next paragraph, the religion of evolution. If there is no evidence for evolution, why is the theory promoted so vehemently? Which I agree on that. Sir Arthur Keith, who wrote the foreword to The Origin of Species, Darwin's book, the 100th edition, admitted, quote, evolution is unproved and unprovable. We believe it only because the only alternative is special creation, and that is unthinkable, end quote. And I don't know if you guys have heard the saying that people will believe anything as crazy as it is other than the Bible. Some people are just so, no, I will believe this circus over here, even though it's absolutely ridiculous and nothing has been proven, instead of believing the Bible, which has been proven and documents everything. Because people, yeah, that's just how a lot of people are. Okay, so let me know if you guys agree with that. If you have friends or family members who are just like, no, there's no way I will believe the Bible or creation. I will believe this other stuff over here, even though it's not proven and it's a theory. Oh boy. All right. H.S. Lipson, professor of physics at the University of Manchester, UK, said, quote, in fact, evolution became, in a sense, a scientific religion. Almost all scientists have accepted it, and many are prepared to bend their observations to fit in with it, end quote. Professor Lipson is right. Evolution is a religion. Let's look at how people become believers. Okay, so, all right, I'll just go through this part and then we'll do the next video in the series. All right, so someone shared his faith in evolution with an unbeliever who in time came to believe in the theory. He didn't have to turn from sin. He merely had to give up his belief in biblical creation. We may marvel at the Mormons for their simplistic belief in Joseph Smith's missing golden tablets, but the evolutionist is just as gullible. He believes without a shred of evidence. His beliefs aren't in missing gold tablets, but in the missing link. No one has the missing link, but the evolutionist is convinced that it is there somewhere. All right. Rejection of the Bible's account of creation as given in the book of Genesis could rightly be called genocide because it eradicated man's purpose of existence and left a whole generation with no certainty as to its beginning. Consequently, theories and tales of our origin have crept like primeval slime from the minds of those who don't know God. This intellectual genocide has given the godless a temporary license to labor to the extremes of their imagination, giving birth to painful conjecture of human beginnings. They speak in speculation, the uncertain language of those who drift aimlessly across the endless sea of secular philosophy. The scriptures, on the other hand, deal only with truth and certainty. They talk of fact, reality, and purpose for man's existence. The darkness of the raging sea of futility retreats where the lighthouse of Genesis begins. Okay, that's what the author says there. All right. Well, thank you everyone for coming by, and I will see everyone in the next video. Make sure you like, subscribe if you aren't already, share and comment. I would love that, and I'll see everyone in the next video. All right. God bless.